welcome to the Rossum launch for spring 2021. I'm joined here by Petr Badish, our CTO, and he'll be walking you through the latest updates for the quarter. We won't be taking questions actively during the session, but if you have anything, please add them to the chat or to the Q&A. We'll get back to you afterwards. A Rossum representative will reach out to you. Of course, also, if you have any follow-up questions, or if you'd like the recording sent directly to you, please get in touch and we'll arrange that for you as well. So with that, I'll hand it over and Peter can take us away.
Thank you, Jacob, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the third product launch event we are making. Last fall, we launched some really exciting new extensibility and integration features. In the winter, we have launched new advanced AI capabilities for capturing complex data and for enhancing automation. And I can't really wait for this to become a bigger event as the lockdowns are easing down, and we are organizing larger events in the future and potentially even bring them to you physically. But today, I'm excited to walk you through some major upgrades in our product, which are really closely related to Rossum's overall mission. Rossum's mission is to automate document communication. And when we founded Rossum, we did it for two reasons. One of them is that processing documents in companies to communicate between companies is a really quite a horrible job. Actually, it's really tedious. It's mainly takes a long time and it takes a lot of effort, but it's not really creative work that anyone would, or at least most people would enjoy doing. And the second reason is that we believe it slows the whole world down, because to execute any transaction, it currently takes weeks for it to get through all the humans involved in this communication. And we believe that in the modern world, those transactions should take minutes at most. We feel that we have already actually been really successful at the data capture part of document communication. The companies that best leverage Rossum, they are getting over 10 times speed up for their teams from our services. But the valid question is, what about the rest of document communication? And when we think about it, there is actually a lot more to processing incoming documents than just data capture to understand their content. It's the matter of receiving the documents, having a reliable and independent platform that handles many different channels, many formats. And it's also the matter of handling the exceptions. What if something is going wrong? What if just the document is simply wrong and the sender made a mistake? What if there is some mismatch or some misunderstanding? And also, obviously, getting the matter of getting the data to the target system, doing that consistently and without having to revise the documents and the data yet again and again in other systems of the company. And all those extra steps, they actually take a lot of time when you think about it. This is what you see is an example of what we see in practice in existing processes when deploying Rossum. For example, when we talk about accounts payable, even though this is definitely not an accounts payable issue, in accounts payable, it easily takes 20 seconds per document to even handle getting the document into the company, to find the document, email, note down important info, pick the correct attachments, and then there are even the crazy cases where you need to decrypt the file, unzip a zip file, or I'm not even talking about scanning the document if it's a physical hard copy. Then it takes some time, obviously, to get the data from the document. The longer the document is, especially when there are big tables, the longer that can potentially take. But then it also takes, on average, 60 seconds per document to handle communication. And if this figure sounds quite high, then just think together with me. Let's say that 10% of documents are some exceptions. So let's say wrong documents where the sender made some mistake. And when you need to resolve this kind of exception, then let's think what needs to be done. You potentially have to exchange 3 different emails. Maybe you need to make a phone call, that's a missed call, and then you get the call back. You need to explain the problem. Sometimes you need to escalate internally. And even if just 10% of documents have this kind of issue, easily 10 minutes per such an issue is, I would say, even an understatement. And then obviously is the matter of integrating. And if the integration you are using is not good enough and well thought out, then you can hit issues like downloading the data and loading them back in the ERP. And then even for each invoice, go to this SAP and find and open the document, maybe edit some master data, fix some object links, and edit the accounting information, for example. And that's a real pain. And in case of other processes in accounting, this can be equally annoying. So suddenly, when we think about it, we realize that there is really quite a significant overhead. So when we are thinking about what are the biggest time sinks that we can help to fix with Rossum, we arrived at 2 major areas. One of them is external communication, and the other one is internal context. So in case of external communication, it's a lot of the issues that I mentioned. Maybe it's some out-of-band email data. What we mean by that is that some information is not actually in the document, but just in the email itself. Maybe that's actually crucial to accounting the document and attaching GL codes or even associating the order. Another area is what happens when the document is wrong, and how can we automate the flow around that? Another really common area is when the sender is curious what's happening with the document. Perhaps they feel it's taking too long, or they are not clear about the status, or whether it was even received. And then they start calling your staff and inquiring about its status. In the internal context area, that's actually equally important. And there is the matter of having records of the companies and the orders and products, and pairing them with data on the document, so that all the data is correctly linked, and you have the document correctly linked with the sender object in your IT system. It's the matter of matching this even when there is some typo or some abbreviation difference, and having this process resilient. And it's also the matter of using this information not just for integration and for storing the data, but also leveraging it on the other side of the process. Maybe you can use this data from your internal databases to make automated decisions about the document, automatically reject the document, or actually automatically validate the document. This again can make quite a difference in the time that's taken, even outside the data capture part of the process, in the communication part. So today we are making it faster. We are introducing 2 new major capabilities. One of them is what we call an intelligent inbox, and it's really a way for you to automate 2-way communication. The first 3 features we are introducing is a native email interface directly within the app. You are able to now work with emails, inspect emails, and explore the links between documents that were sent within the same email, and so on. Possibility to reject bad documents so that you can handle any exceptions efficiently directly from the app itself without switching context and switching to an email app, and having an automated flow, email flow regarding that, and also automating external inquiries by providing an email-based app interface for your senders to use and actually get the status of their document without bothering your team. And the second major capability is native master data matching. What I'm talking about is the possibility to link together databases from your internal IT infrastructure and use them for matching within the documents you are receiving. And we can be talking about general data matching, like supplier matching, or order matching, or delivery note matching, and so on, but also on a line level, product matching and PO matching possibilities. And quite importantly, setting up flexible automation rules around this master database. So I would like to quickly show you this in action. At Rossum, we like to live on the edge. So let's try a live demo of this. It's all in, I'll be showing this all in our live app. The only thing is that the emails are sped up a bit to save a few seconds during the demo. If you have been on our past product launches, you are probably familiar with our model company, Dairy Products Limited, which is a fictional company in the food industry located in the UK. And this time, this company will be processing purchase order-based invoices. And let's see how those new features are helping this company. So let's explore this. And maybe let's start in the app itself. In the app itself, we long had, or actually a functionality to receive emails directly within the app. So each queue in Rossum where documents are processed has a mailbox associated with it, and it has this email address where anyone can send documents. The senders can send documents here directly. A new feature that we added as part of this native email interface is a way to actually configure a lot of the aspects of this email gateway, configure some automated replies, automate some notifications, automate and also configure how the email itself should look like to give you more customizability and more branding opportunities. So let's actually try to send an email to this address. So I will be, let me zoom this up just a little so it's visible. And let me send an email to this address, and let's say invoice 1234. Let's say invoice 4, sending you this invoice. Okay, so let's send this email. And maybe you noticed I didn't actually send the invoice. That's a really common mistake. Probably happened to you too, that you forgot an attachment. So obviously this document is not appearing here. But if you refresh here, we actually get a notification back, which tells the sender that they forgot the email. This is the simplest part of this automated workflow, which is completely scriptable, completely customizable by your developers, actually defining which emails get sent when, what's the content of the email, and so on. Okay, so let's fix this and let's send the invoice for good now. Invoice for PO 1234, and let's say I'm attaching the invoice for real, and this time we will actually attach the invoice. So let's do that. And when we check the email, this invoice is here now. And what happens in the email, let's refresh the email itself. And what's worth noting is that we automatically actually also received this confirmation email, which summarizes some key information from the document. And it contains this button, check status. So if I actually click this button and what loads here, okay, I think I clicked the button for the wrong invoice in this mailbox. But what this shows is actually the status of the document. Here I accidentally clicked the document which was already rejected, but otherwise it would tell you this document has been validated, this document has been received and waiting validation. But it can also actually tell you what's the payment status, if it's an invoice, for example, or what's the approval status. Obviously that's all opt-in and configurable, so it's up to you the level of detail, the level of transparency you are giving your senders, but it's a really good way to potentially build some goodwill and smooth out the communication with the senders. So when we have sent this document, one thing to notice is that we automatically get this reply in our email, and this reply kind of confirms the receipt of the document. And what we can do here is we see the summary the key information of the document, but we can also click on this check status button. And where this brings us is to the screen, which is actually visible to the senders of the document. This is not your internal organization screen, but this is what the sender can see, and they can explore here the status of the document. Right here it says the document has been received, but nothing else has been done with it yet. What's worth noting here is that this is completely configurable for you and for your needs and for your company policies. So it depends on the amount of transparency you are comfortable with. It can go as far as showing the approval status of the document or even the payment status of the document, but it can also just show easily three cases, three statuses just received, validated, and then like further processing up to you and your developers who are building the integration. So this is what the sender sees, and they do not have to call your team anymore. Now let's take a look at how it looks in the Rossum map where it appeared. Let's take a look at the right document here over here. So let's open it, and this document actually it contains a mistake because it doesn't mention the PO number anywhere on the document, and the dairy products company, they do require that. So Rossum even shows that this is a required field and the document is blocked. But here I can actually show the original email, and the day is saved potentially because in the subject of the email, I have written the number of the PO. So based on inspecting this email display, I can easily fix the problem. Obviously, in many companies, this is not quite acceptable, and the accounting standards require you to have the PO number on the hard copy of the document itself. And in that case, that's fine. Let's remove this again, and we have a new button here, which is a rejection window, where I can easily directly from the app itself, I can write rejecting this document, and I can reject the document. And the document within the app, if it moves to this rejected tab, where it remains. And actually, if I refresh here, I have this rejected document notification here, where it shows this information. So I got the email notification back, and I can reject documents in a quite streamlined way directly within the app, and it's taking me no extra time whatsoever. And the sender is always kept up to date and can immediately react and really also streamline resolution of this. Really here we saved the dairy products team per each such document that we have shown that has some issues, easily 3 or more minutes of mailbox work per each one. We have seen that we can explore emails directly from the document view. We can easily reject documents with issues. We can automatically share the status of the document. But actually, that's not all. I wanted to show you one more thing. If we come to this document and we undo the rejection, we just move the document back to the emails folder here and back to the to review. Here we restore this 1, 2, 3, 4. There is one more thing. There is actually a warning in line items, and Rossum is able to directly tell you that there is an issue with this document, even if the order is right. And the issue is highlighted here, and it says that actually the company is overcharging, the supplier is overcharging us 10 times. I'm sure completely by accident. So how is this happening? This is happening because we actually tied up our model company's master data database with all the orders to Rossum, and we connected those all together. And there is actually a streamlined functionality for this. If I go to the settings and click Open Data Matching Extension, here I have a web interface where I can upload data in common machine readable formats with the database. This also has an API for developers who can automatically upload the data, and I have also interface for defining matching logic here. And actually, For enterprise level solutions, there are other enterprise level document-based solutions which are able to tie in master data, where we feel is the real differentiating factor is in how streamlined this really is and how accessible for everyone this functionality is here at Rossum. So because one of our goals is that everything should be much easier set up than in traditional solution. So let's go back and let's try one more time, and let's send the document invoice for PO1234, sending the fixed document, and this time let's send the document which has this information resolved. And if we go back here, this document didn't appear here. But the reason is because this document already appeared in the confirmed automatically processed tab. Because suddenly, when all the information is right, Rossum was able to automatically decide that, okay, based on all this information, I can make an automated decision here to accept the document. Again, in best Rossum spirit, this is completely customizable, and this is completely in your control in what circumstances those automation decisions are made. So we made this accessible for developers. It's really developers of all skill levels being able to configure this, those matching rules. The source code for that is open source and available, and it's also editable and editable directly within the app. So you do not need to set up any extra infrastructure from your side to change this logic, because all the code is actually executed in our platform and modifiable from our app. For every document that is associated with this order, compared to a little more clumsy integration, we think that we save their products team easily 2 minutes per each document, especially if they have many line items of revisions in SAP and having to reopen the document and add extra information for every such document. And this feature, what we have shown is we can carry over the master records to ERP integrations and automatically set up either a semi-manual or completely API-based integration to download this data back to Rossum. We believe a big game changer is that this has a friendly user interface alongside a very clean and easily usable API. The matching logic itself is customizable for specific use cases, and it's not just customizable through spending many days of work, but it's customizable by just a very short time directly editing code within the app itself. And it allows us to automate document communication even more by making automated decisions based on what we matched between the document and the master data. Obviously, we have been testing this with select customers already. These features that I've shown you may be worth noting. Some of them are already general availability right now. Some of them are being made available on a rolling basis in the coming days. For some of them, it's best to speak with the Rossum sales or global services team if you would like to enroll in a waiting list in a late beta test, so to say, of those features. One interesting experience we had specifically, for example, in the accounts payable case is a feedback from Veolia company, and they say that in their experience, their suppliers, they are quite excited about receiving proactive updates. And they feel that obviously this new email flow, it increases their productivity and saves them work, but it also builds a lot of goodwill with their business partners. And this makes some sense, because if you are really pushing for high automation in some document communication process with the existing technology, you still want the senders to adapt to you in some degree, and you request some of their compliance. Maybe they need to insert specific fields on the document, not forget about stuff and send consistent documents, and building goodwill with them sort of compensates with the effort you are asking them for, and overall long term, we believe it can give you business value by just having partners which maybe in some situations are willing to cut you some slack, or are more open to a variety of negotiations. And this is not just about accounts payable. We believe this is the case in all domains, if your company has a reputation to be easy to work with. But of course, the safe work itself for your team is quite immense. At Rossum, this is not all that we are working on. We are working on obviously other features specifically in this direction. So what we have in store for the future is even tighter email integration, being able to work with incoming emails directly from the app itself, and also obviously expanding the number of formats we are accepting, and also introduce a native EDI support, for example, to process XML documents within the same channels as the PDF documents, because that's an integral part of an automating document communication vision that we have. So to close it up, we are really focusing at Rossum not just on the data capture part, but on automating all the stages of document communication. We believe this is a big step, this new functionality that we are introducing in this direction. But obviously, it's not all that we have been working on. Our product is moving forward in quite a few different quite many directions actually. So we over the last 3 months, we have released over 200 other improvements, ranging from higher data automation rates over the board, new Python runtime supporting custom functions alongside JavaScript for the developers among you, and for the enterprises among you, for example, more user-friendly single sign-on support that makes the UX for your users more streamlined. So if you are as excited as us about automating document communication and about those possibilities and those extra productivity unlocks, please do contact your Rossum representatives. They will be more than happy to walk you through more details and talk to you about the application in your company. And I hope to see you soon, because we have a lot of new exciting stuff building under the hood, and can't wait to show it to you in a couple of months.